Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And it seems that, again, these schools are becoming more and more dangerous, and the reason why I keep on advocating for you to homeschool your own children is because even in today's society, we have to be, our children are in danger. Our daughters are in danger because obviously they will be attacked by Muslim people. Now, they're probably saying that, well, not all Muslim people are bad, and I can agree to this to some extent. At least, I would say some of the ones in the US. However, that doesn't seem to be a very good case, as was we're going to this here from the Post Millennial saying Minnesota mom says 9-year-old daughter was attacked at school for not being Muslim. A Minnesota mom has said that her 9-year-old daughter was attacked at school by a group of girls because her daughter wasn't Muslim. According to a report from Alpha News, Shauna Larson told the reporters at the outlet to the details of the attack that the mom said took place on April 22nd at Hidden Valley Elementary in Savage, Minnesota. The mom said that the principal came and told her what had occurred at the school. They came up to my vehicle and informed me that there was an incident at school that day. They wanted to make it very apparent that my daughter didn't do anything to cause this, and they told me this was a calculated incident and that she had been attacked on the playground by 4 other students in her grade, Larson stated. I ended up learning this was due to her race and her religion because she wasn't Muslim, so that was pretty jarring to hear. Larson was told by a teacher that the incident was due to her daughter not being Muslim. Larson did not realize the extent of the injuries until her daughter was bruising the day afterward. That's when we noticed that she had a black eye, and we immediately took a picture of it. And when she came home that day, I just looked her over, and she had bruises on her arms and a bruise on her neck, bruises over her legs. The Larson's daughter said to her mom that the girls pulled her by her hair to the ground and then started beating her up. She told me that she tried to get up, and when she tried to get up and go for help the first time, and I believe it was the first time that they had gotten her on the ground, that she was trying to fight back, and they told her that if she hit them or she touched them, they would hurt themselves and tell the teacher that she had hurt them. Larson was told by the school that the attack on her daughter was caught on camera. It showed them going up to her and punching her in the face, and her hitting the back, and she runs off and they run after her, and then it's all when all of them go out of camera view. That's when the initial attack happens, is what the person told me. The Burnsville Egan Savage School District sent an attempt to Alpha News about the reporting beating. We can't share any private data about students, including specifically about student behavior or discipline. Student and staff safety is our top priority, and we take any incident that could endanger others very seriously. We're committed to working with families as we do that, and as always, we follow our established policies and procedures when it comes to student behavior, which are outlined in the board-approved student handbook. Alright, here's my problem with all of this, and here's one thing I want to address here, obviously. The big thing here I have is this. Private data about students, which that's completely fine. I can understand you don't want to share private data or other personal stuff about the actual students. That's all good and dandy. I don't have a problem with this. However, the one thing I do have a problem with is including specifics about student behavior or discipline. Now, if I am the mother in this situation and I heard that my daughter got beaten up by other students, I think I would like to know the legitimate discipline of what's going to happen to these kids, so that way I can decide whether or not I want to send my kid to school or not. That's what I would like. So, first off, I think those kids should be immediately, at very least, suspended, if not expelled, so that way I can decide whether or not my kid could go to that school. Because, I'll be honest with you, if I heard my daughter got attacked by these individuals here, I'm going to make a conscious decision whether or not I should pull my kid away from the school and send her to another school that I believe that is safer, or continue her to go to this school that has disciplined these children, so that way that can't happen again. But here's the greater concern that we have here and across this country. We have a lot of anti-Semitism that's going on here, and I don't agree with this. I'm not saying that you are not allowed to speak anti-Semitism or, have a racist type of view or whatever. I'm not really saying that, because I think everybody should have the right to freedom of speech. Doesn't mean you're freedom of consequences. However, the rise of actual hatred towards, people of either Jewish or just because they're white or because of any other background is completely insanity to me, and it needs to stop. I think that when we have this type of situation here, it's really hard for me to say. Because in my worldview and my way of reasoning is that I would immediately deport these people back to their Muslim country to where they so desire, where they so deserve to be at. Or it would be to the fact that if it wasn't due to them being, if they were already born American citizens, then, well, I would immediately have them expelled. But the problem is here is that it's whether the parents are integrated or moved here, or rather they didn't. And if they actually moved here and they were not and their kids are not from here, obviously they weren't born or whatever here, then the kids and the parents will be deported. Because again, I will not allow this type of animalistic behavior being brought into our country. I'm sorry, because you are not able to raise your kids in an effective way. Now, I understand that there will be people that will come up to me and say, well, you can't really do that because, you can't just deport people to another country when they go and act, when they don't seem to have good parenting skills. And I can agree with that to an extent, right? But here's the thing. Here's the difference to what I have here in this instance. It's because, let me put this in the worldview. If they're from America and they're from America and they're in this state, in this country, and what have you, and all that stuff, then yes, they can. Your kids will just be expelled, right? But if they're not from this country and they recently just integrated here or what have you, then I'll probably have them deported because we're setting up a society to where what is allowed and not allowed, and we're gonna say, and when we're saying this, is that we're not allowing you to raise your kids and say that your kids can just be abusive, destructive, and all this stuff to our society. Because even though that you may not be, your kids have an action onto you what you're doing here, right? And maybe we could put like some type of restrictions. Maybe we say, okay, this is a warning. You do this again, or this happens again from your kids, because I would agree that we should have some type of corrective behavior, right? To where like, okay, if this happens, if your kids does this again, okay, you're out, you're deported. But this is only for people that slowly integrated here and stuff like that. Because again, we cannot be having kids being raised in this type of way. We have to set a precedent to our society where you will raise your kids correctly. You will not allow your kids to act this way. And then, of course, expelling them immediately and then deporting them is one way to do it. Saying that like, if you're coming into our country, you need to have your kids raised correctly. You need to be not a detriment to our society. You need to be good, faring people. And if you're not, then you're going to be removed from our society because we don't agree with this. And that's just the way I believe we should probably do things. Just setting a precedent to other people, other foreigners. You are under our laws here, and we have a society built upon this. And if you do not agree with this, then don't come here, or you will be deported for all these situations. I understand that other people's. I understand that you can't be blamed for other people's situations. Like for instance, say for instance, if the kid was an adult or like say for instance like 16, 17, or what have you, or even 18, then well, you can't really be blamed for other people's actions. At that point, it's not really your fault. I mean, they did something beyond your control. You can't really do this. However, if they are kids, and especially in an elementary school, you have full rights over that kid. You have the ability to raise your kids correctly. And if you're not going to raise them correctly, then you lose your right to be in this country because your kids wouldn't go and do something awful. But like I said, I can always say that we have warning shots to these people and saying, okay, you have a warning here, and if you keep on violating this problem, if this continues to be an issue, you're not going to be allowed to be here anymore. So that's the way I see this here. Of course, we have all this situation stuff. It says mother says daughter was attacked at school because she wasn't Muslim, and this is obviously the bruises and the marks on this said child here. So yeah, I think the racism and the anti-Semitism in this country is rising high, and I think we need to start a precedent pretty quickly because we cannot be allowing this type of savagery to be going here to our kids, to our country people because of religious or other factors. This is completely asinine. So I don't know what you guys think. Write comments down below if you whatever you think, believe what should happen. But I think this is a travesty. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.